talking people of YouTube, educating, entertaining and creating. If you haven't seen this channel before, my name's Jack Gash. I make videos to encourage people to look upon themselves and educational videos for food for thought, things that maybe people haven't thought about or different angles. This is a raw channel that I don't edit anything, I just speak straight from my heart and mind, and I try and use my creative abilities to produce something that people might watch and enjoy. So, why are some people happier than others? The reason I've made this video is because it's something that I've gradually noticed throughout my life. I'm 25 years old now, and I notice it in people. I notice it as I'm going around day-to-day life and places I've been and people I've seen, people I've talked to. And you may have noticed this too, share your thoughts if you kind of relate to what I'm talking about here. Why are some people happier than others? You get people who are really miserable and you get some people who are really happy. And what is the difference between them? And why is it important to know this is because we can look upon this and think, am I negatively affecting myself? Am I a miserable person? Am I depressed? Am I unhappy? Is there something I could do about that? Well, if we look to people who are happy, not all the time, but because nobody's happy all the time, life is suffering, but if we look to somebody who's quite joyous and quite a joyful person, what are they doing differently? So, the thing I've noticed about why people are happier than others, so I've got a really good friend of mine, he's 72 years old now, and a lot of 72-year-olds, other 72-year-olds that I know, have given up on life. Oh, my body's old now and this, that and the other, and there's nothing to do or whatever. This guy is still trying to work, he still does odd little gardening jobs for people and stuff like that. He's such a happy influence on people. He's so joyous, his outlook is very outgoing. He's still going out walking. He hasn't given up on life. So I think the first point is not giving up on happiness. I think some people get to a certain stage in their life where they think happiness is out of their reach. They feel alienated to happiness, or they don't feel like happiness belongs to them. Life has become shit for them, and that's that. They've accepted life being rubbish or mundane or just generic and pretty pointless, It's what degree you accept and what you get used to feeling. Some people are constantly feeling in a miserable state, unhappy state. So, reviewing that, how do we break a cycle of being constantly miserable is through appreciation. Now, I've noticed the happiest people in life are grateful for the things that they have. We have some third world countries that I've been to. I won't say Morocco is a third world country, but it's quite a deprived country. There's quite a lot of poverty. But some of the kids there are the happiest you've ever seen because technology hasn't taken over them. Social media hasn't taken over them. They haven't got no external influences. They're living life through their own way, living life through their own vision. And I think that's an important thing we have to look at as a generation of people, is that we are heavily affected by social media. And is this affecting us in a positive way or a negative way? So the things you digest affect you a lot. If you're constantly reading negative things or what proactive things or, activists on the internet and things that are quite, frontal and quite confrontational, or whatever you're choosing to digest on the internet or social media will affect you, no matter what you think about it. It's like, people forget this, but if I go pick up a book, I read books. If I pick up a book and start reading a book, that book enters my brain and I start processing that and relating it back to my life, and that's how this book's affecting me. I've read many different books, Hinduism, Buddhism, all these things have affected my thought processes. So it's no different to reading stuff online. It's no different to watching videos online. That information gets integrated into you and you kind of adjust that. And some people are so caught up in what they've seen on the internet and opinions and other people's opinions on the internet that they've lost their own opinion. You know what I mean? So it's important to look at what you're digesting, because sometimes we're not digesting happy stuff. We're not digesting positive stuff for us. Sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's not good. And that's why it's good to form a healthy relationship with social media and the internet. So why are some people happier than others? Gratitude is your biggest friend. I've noticed the happiest people in life are just grateful for what they've got. They don't have to be complicated. They don't have to overcomplicate things, because we get taught from a young age that we need the next thing. You know, it's a new trend's come out online, so the new trend is the done thing. So following the crowd for your happiness, seeking approval for your happiness, following the culture for your happiness, to get that status, to get that recognition, to get that acceptance. That's where sadness comes, because if we don't get that acceptance, if we don't get that recognition, if we don't get some form of, you know, value from other people, then as happiness falls through. Happiness is an emotion and a feeling, a sensation created by you and yourself. You know, it don't come externally. When you feel happiness and joy, where does it come from? It comes from you. Things can spur that emotion, and people can spur that emotion, but ultimately the emotion is within you. So if something is created within you, be that with an external source, sometimes if you see your child playing on his own and is having a really good time, it might make you feel happy. If you see your dog coming home and he's waggling his tail and he can't wait to see you, that might make you happy. All these emotions are experienced from within you. If that's the case, then we can create these emotions a lot of the time. And how do we do that? Through positive thought, through positive feelings. We don't actively think positively as people. We're designed to seek danger, to protect ourselves. That's how our brain is engineered. Any animal and any species is engineered to seek danger, you know. So when we're digesting negative information, we're constantly in that protective state. We're constantly in that ready for something to happen state. Putin's going to raid us, whatever's going to happen, something disastrous is going to happen, so COVID's going to happen again or whatever. We're constantly in that ready motion for fight and flight. But to break that through positive thought is thinking about the things that we're thankful for, thinking about the things that we're happy for, writing them down. You know, you can't get better than pen and paper. Sometimes, and I've done this throughout the course of my life in a few different areas, when I felt, because I'm no saint, I get, you know, down or a bit depressed about stuff, or, you know, you can do. Life is suffering, and it's how we integrate and balance our suffering that brings the biggest possibility in ourselves. So, writing stuff down. Write 25 things that you're thankful for and read them, and really feel that emotion. See, program yourself to think positive things. When we're programming ourselves to think in a more positive mind state, we see more possibilities. We see more things that we should be grateful for. We see more lessons. Things aren't just negative. Things aren't just a horrible situation. It's a lesson now, you know. Even somebody passing away in your family can be a lesson. It depends on your perception. Somebody passes away in your family, that is teaching us that life is short. Life can go within a flash. So it's teaching you to live. But some people accept that sadness and live within that sadness for the rest of their lives. You know, everybody's on their own journey. And you've got to realise that your journey will come to an end soon. That's my way over death. You know, that's one way people get sad, is through passing of relatives and stuff, you know. It's about making yourself more resilient. Happiness takes discipline. Happiness takes resilience. Because although the external sources of my life may be contradicting happiness and may be stressful or maybe too much, I'm still choosing happiness, I'm still choosing positivity, I'm still choosing joyfulness over this, because this is my life to take care of. This is my life to take control of. I can't let my external sources take control of me. If your external sources take control of you, then you are just subject to what's happening in your environment rather than what's happening within inside yourself. So I just wanted to make that little video. As I say, just food for thought. This is all I do on this channel. You know, I've got a lot of different videos coming up. I've got loads of things that I'm trying to do. It's just finding time. I think I need to make a video about working hard, because that seems to be all I'm doing at the moment. But yeah, if you've made it this far in the video and you have watched it and you have come away with something, please, drop some form of notification and let me know you're here, whether that's a comment or a like or whatever you want to do. And give me some feedback, let me know what you think. Happiness is a choice. It's something that takes practice. It's not something that's easily given. And this doesn't mean we can experience suffering, because suffering is important too, and sadness is important too. But somewhere in the middle is the balance, the acceptance of everything. We can't cling to happiness too much, and we can't cling to the sadness. We have to find ourselves in the middle. And that is a joyful state, being in the middle of your emotions and being in the accepting mind state of what life has to give. So, as I always say on this channel, peace and love to anybody watching this. Make sure you're taking it easy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bang, bang.